the next part of our program, it's going to be dedicated to 3 case studies where we're going to do a deep dive, each of them highlighting a conscious effort to build environments, a new business creating community before the doors even open. Ooh. There we go. An economic development philosophy rooted in holistic downtown vision, and an innovative student program that activates new communications tools to build excitement and interest. These presentations will be happening one after the next, and we're going to have a group Q&A after the break and following the 3rd case study. So please, as you're listening, submit your questions as we go. Look in your program, page 7, there's a QR code. So you don't have to remember your questions, just enter them in, and we will be fielding them at the Q&A at the end of the 3rd case study. And so with that, I would like to invite our first case study. Building a business, building community. Please join me in welcoming Chris Allen, who is the founder and CEO of Gasburger, to the stage. Chris is a tech entrepreneur turned community builder. His approach to business offers practical insights on aligning profit with purpose and creating organizations people want to be a part of. Chris.
Hi, everybody. My name is Chris Allen. I'm a Connecticut resident through and through. Been here for 49 years. I was born and raised in West Hartford. Own a number of different companies. I apologize, it's really hard to read up there, but my first company that I was really well known for was iDevices. We were a tech company, worked with Apple, Google, and Amazon, created home automation. Exited that in 2017, and now I own a number of companies across the state, from logistics businesses to, some would say, my most foolish investment, a restaurant. My buddy actually said to me, give me your $1 million and I'll put it away for you for 5 years and give it all back to you for nothing. But what we're doing different, or what my idea was to do different, was in terms of building a company. A lot of people talk about today, we're not short on food, right? New Haven's got tons of great food spots. We're competing with New Haven's best pizza in the world, supposedly, according to us. New York differs, other people differ, Chicago, what have you. But at the end of the day, lots of food out there. So why build a restaurant? And we can go to the blight issue that you're talking about. I literally moved from West Hartford 3 years ago to North Haven. Moving there, touring around, trying to learn about the town that I'm now living in with my fiance and her 2 kids. I kept driving by this rundown gas station. Literally, it was an old service station, 3-bay garage, covered in weeds and trees and all sorts of old growth. I said, man, somebody should really do something with that, right? It would be really cool to do something with it. And of course, the entrepreneur in me said, oh, well, maybe you should do it. And somebody should hit me with a tack hammer, because I say that way too often. So what I decided to do was create a connection, right? Everybody can build a restaurant. Well, I shouldn't say everybody, but a lot of people could go out and learn how to build a restaurant. I think the important thing when you're building something like this is how you relate to the community, and how you can build a community around the restaurant before you even have a stitch of food to give anybody. And that's really what I've been focusing on. So when you look at us, we've built a digital world. Everybody's got one of these. It's sitting in their hand 24/7. COVID made us all turn into hermits. We like to sit in our house and order food from Grubhub, Uber Eats, all those DoorDash and what have you. And very few people get out and actually do stuff anymore. It's pretty pathetic. A lot of people, and I'm guilty of it too. My fiance will tell you. She comes home, do you want to cook? No, I really don't feel like cooking. Okay, let's order Grubhub or Uber Eats. But if we created a connection where people could come and actually connect and mingle and put the phone away and talk to each other and create that community, I felt that we would have a really unique proposition of why people should come beyond just our food. So what we're building is a gathering place, really, and that's the way I've been promoting it, right? I'm building a place where you can come together with family, friends, coworkers, and really have a conversation. And the way we do that is by bringing back some of the nostalgia. A lot of people say, and I'm not getting political, make America great, okay? Well, a lot of people harken back to the 50s and 60s time, right? In that time period where people had communities and they walked around in their neighborhoods and they talked to people and they engaged with people and they had that kind of feeling of community. And that's something that a lot of people today long for. And I can prove it to you in just the sheer facts around our social media. So when I looked at this, I figured, let's create a gathering place where people can come and play cornhole, play bocce, listen to great music. So we're going to have concerts. We're going to have comedians come in, karaoke nights. You can listen to people sing really bad and laugh, okay? But those types of opportunities, while still having great food, a great environment, a place where people can feel, to quote from Cheers, where everybody knows your name, right? So you walk in and the people know who you are. And it's resonated tremendously. So I've started to build this community through Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and really it happened by accident. I put a couple of videos out there, they went viral, took off, and then this community formed around me. And so I said, well, let's engage the community in a meaningful way. So as you're building any business, this is definitely relatable and easily replicatable. So when you look at it, we are creating an opportunity for all of these people to engage in how to build this restaurant. So if you think about it, it's like some of those DIY shows on HGTV, right? You get to like watch the designer come in, they're helping fix and renovate and sell the house or build a new house. And so what we've done, or what I've done, because it's me, myself, and I keep saying we, but my fiance wants nothing to do with this business, I can tell you that right now. So, one more time. Hey. So, as an entrepreneur, it's very lonely. And so I realized how lonely business is. And so as I started to create this community, it helped me get out of that lonely state. I work out of my home office. I have business locations across the state, but I'm primarily out of my home office. And so it can be very lonely. Even when I was CEO of iDevices, the best advice I got from a gentleman out in California, very successful business guy, was like, listen, Chris, here's my cell. Call me because it's lonely at the top. When you're the CEO of a small business or you're running your own business, very rarely can you tell everybody what the hell's going on, right? Are we going to make payroll? Holy crap, we were running low on money. We don't have inventory. This sale didn't come through, right? There's a lot of internalization of that. So in this lonely journey of building my very first restaurant in my life, I decided to use the community. And so the community has been fantastic. I allow them to engage in what color the restaurant should be, what type of booths should we do, what type of food should we offer, what type of buns we're going to have. They voted on all sorts of stuff, and it's created this buy-in where they actually feel they own part of the restaurant at the end of the day, right? And you could do this for any business as you're going into opening it. And so as the community's been building with me, it becomes less of a transactional business, right? They feel an emotional connection to what we're building, and they really engage. So they may drive by 3 other restaurants to get to my restaurant that sell burgers, but because they feel like they helped build this restaurant, they helped build the community around it, they are much more engaged and they're much more loyal. Right? At the end of the day, restaurants need a few things that I've identified. Really good food. So I went out to Vermont and I went searching for the best cattle farmers in Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine. Found them, made a conglomerate of them, and then got a processor to process their meat. So we're buying all fresh grass-fed meat that's brought in from Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine. We've got all organic veggies. People want to eat healthier. We identified that in just talking to people and through the different people that have showed up. I've given away hats and shirts and all sorts of different things to promote myself across the town. So now I'm pretty well known in North Haven, having only lived there 3 years. I wear a Gasburger's hat, and it becomes the conversation point. But my point being is that people have built this brand before I've ever served a burger, right? They quote all the time on Instagram and TikTok, I can't wait to eat your burgers. They have no clue what it tastes like. Could be dirt, right? But they're excited as hell and they want to eat it, okay? So it's a very interesting paradigm shift that we've seen as the digital economy's come about, but also as people have become more closed off and more homebodies. How do we pull them out? And it's through the sense of community. So Main Street America, I'm a huge fan of anything along those lines, figuring out how to do unique creative things. We're on State Street in North Haven, right? So very busy street. I can talk to everything those people talked about permitting and all that crap, because holy crap, I realized why this place sat vacant for 9 years, okay? Because I probably dropped 80, 90,000 just in permitting and civil engineering, which is astronomical. Like, I think Jack said the budget, right? My budget went boom in 2 seconds, right? And so I work with CBIA, I sit on their board, and focusing on some of these issues is key, because not a lot of people can absorb that type of cost. And we need to do better as a state and as towns to get these businesses in there and allow them to come in. I mean, half of what I had to do was because it's zoned in the right zone for a restaurant. There's a restaurant 3 doors down, but they wanted a public hearing with civil engineering and all these surveys done and all these architectural drawings. And then on top of all that, site work and environmental work. And I was like, holy crap, like this is not what I signed up for, but I was all in, and I'm gonna finish it and see it through. So I can totally relate, and I think it's something that we need to focus on. To my point, loyalty. As we build this out and as we're going into this next phase of, we're gonna launch hopefully in May. Please no more snow, because it's killing my site work. But we're hopefully opening May, and we have this loyalty base. So I would encourage you, if any of you are opening businesses, you're advising businesses, if you're not having them start to build this community, I can assure you on day one, and I don't say this very often because I'm an entrepreneur, so you never guarantee anything, but I can assure you on day one, we're gonna be sold out, we're gonna have a line out the door because of the work we're doing now. We're planting the seeds that we're gonna sow when we open those doors. And it becomes less of a guest job, right? He said, I think it was Jack said that, all plans go to hell. My revenue plan is probably gonna blow up to the upside, way more than I anticipated, because I've created this great community. It's the simple little things, falling back to your fundamental roots. I can't tell you how excited people were to get free hats. It's okay. I don't begrudge anybody who likes hats or t-shirts or stickers. My stepdaughter goes to Sacred Heart Academy, and she was like, some of the girls would like some t-shirts and some hats. Here you go, sent them over there. They were like, she sent me the video. They were going crazy, dancing like, oh my God. And now we have to send a whole box full because the rest of the girls want them. I put on TikTok that I'm gonna be at the shop. If you wanna come get a hat or a sticker, please stop by. I'll be there for the next 2 hours. Line out the door. It was insane. But what I'm also doing is each time I give that away, I get to know them. It's not just here transactional. I'm building loyalty. I'm building a relationship. And while I have no intention of being there every day and working this and being a chef, that is not my goal. I will be there in spirit, and I will be there as a front man and talking to the people and helping serve the food. The loyalty is being built every single day through that engagement with the community and creating that network of folks. And I think it's gonna be a tremendous opportunity. I encourage you all to come down. I'll sell myself right now and check it out. We will have outdoor seating. We're gonna have this great environment that I think will be game changing. And our goal is to expand. I love doing things where I can grow it, do 3, 4, 5 of them, and then maybe franchise it out. Gas Burgers is the name. Some people go, oh, gas burgers. But we don't give you gas, I promise you that. Physical form or other way. All right, you can't buy gas at our gas station. But they all are representative. And to your point about brownfields before, this is an opportunity to take properties that have been abandoned. Most cases, the environmental issues have been fixed. I don't buy them, I rent them. And then we'll renovate them and turn them into great places for the community to come and hang out and have really great experiences. You're over there. There you go. So all in all, we're building something that's going to make people show up. Something real that lasts, and that's something that will transcend time, right? I hope that someday I'll be able to hand this off to another business owner and sell it and say, hey, you can go run this and you can take this on and keep the community going. But the community involvement has been so profound that if you really cultivate the kind of the Main Street methodology of working with the local businesses, I'll give a perfect example. Yesterday I was standing out there, got out of I tell everybody I drive a big white truck. Come if it's there, you can come say hi anytime. Guy walked out from an insurance building across the street, came over, he's like, dude, you mind if I just poke my head in and check out what's going on in there? Like, people are super engaged. And he's like, I'm so excited for this. It's probably gonna be really bad for my belly, but my wife is excited to come too, and all this stuff. So people in that engagement, They will show up. It's kind of like the Field of Dreams. Anybody seen that movie? Yeah, okay. If you build it, they will come. Well, if you build it and you engage with the community, they will come. And there is a longing in this time and day and age where we have such division across our country and we have all of this stuff going on that's in people's head. They want to escape. And if you can provide that either through your business, through your work environment — I'm a big work environment guy for my other companies — that is what's going to drive people to you each and every day. And it's a tremendous value that I think has been lost in a lot of folks as we've gotten so focused on the almighty dollar, right? It's not just about the buck. It's about doing something. Yes, you want to be profitable. Yes, you want to be successful. But success isn't just about that dollar. Success is about the relationships you build, what you build as a community. And truthfully, at the end of the day, I say this to my kids all the time, when they put me in the ground, you can't take your money with you. There's never been a coffin that says you can load up your money on top of it and put it in the ground 6 feet under. If you did, somebody's probably going to dig you up. So, but in addition, your legacy is what's left. And I think we need to harken back to some of that of like, what are you leaving behind for your kids, for your grandkids to be known as? And do I want to be known as Gasburgers? It's okay. That's a good thing. But I want to be known as a good community, steward. I was good to the community members. I brought value to the community. I brought innovation to the market, and I created great places for people to work, right? And I think if you do all those things in today's business and you market it that way in your own word — I don't hire anybody. I do selfies all day, like, hey, I'm Chris Allen, I'm at Gasburgers, blah, blah, blah. You don't have to be fancy, but if you do that in a meaningful and authentic way, you can have a very successful business no matter what your business is. So, this is Gasburger, some of the renderings, some of the old, the new, so you can kind of get an idea of what we're doing. But we'd love to have you down. If you have any questions, happy to answer them afterwards. But I appreciate the time and energy of putting this together, Michelle and the team, and it's been great chatting with you. And like I said, happy to answer questions later.